Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to NJPW Puroresu Review. I am your co-host, the kinda tired Andre C. Right over here, it's the skeleton princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. I am wearing my ribcage shirt in honor of TJ. Who's on a roll now. Cinderella
Mm-hmm.
story coming to fruition in this Best of Super Junior tournament day. I'm doing okay today. It's a miserable day out, though, not gonna lie. A little disappointed that it's June now, finally, and that it still feels like April. Gonna
Mm-hmm.
need our weather to stop being so menopausal and kind of figure her ish out. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, just had a good workout today with my trainer, Rich King. Got two more left before I'm going to take the summer off from training with him, but I'm still going to keep. Oh, sorry. 3 months. That's as close as we're going to get. Before I take the summer off from training with him directly, because just, training with a trainer costs money, and I don't have the money right now. So I'm still going to train on my own, and he's keeping me on the program system so I can keep doing my workouts. So I'm happy. I'll go back to him towards the end of the summer, just once I put the money back together. So.
Sounds like a plan, Stan. In the meantime, I'm sure you will enjoy watching him wrestle
Mm-hmm.
locally. Best
Very
music
much
in
so.
LPW.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, I had my wrestling theme playlist now on, which has a bunch of local wrestlers and then New Japan guys and EW people, and I'm listening to his single theme starts playing, and then who walks out of the trainer's room, and it's Rich King, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, he's coming out to his own music.
What an entry to the gym. That must have been a fun
Oh,
time.
that was interesting, but yeah, so I got a good workout in a day. Just did a little bit of work cleaning up, and yeah, finished watching the show we're talking about today, and yeah, made some spaghetti for dinner.
Nice, nice. Good, good,
Yeah,
good. Whole play-by-play of your day today. That's great.
yeah, but it wasn't a lot, so.
Relatable, relatable.
Mhm. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk some New Japan Best of Super Juniors, May 26th and 28th. Before we do that, I want to thank each and every one of you. If you're listening in audio form on Sunday Night's Main Event, thank you so very much. And if you're not and you want to hear us in audio form, go over to Sunday Night's Main Event.com and hit the RSS feed and add us in, and you can follow us over there, listen to us there, and along with all the other great content they put out over there. So Boris's Sunday show is always a highlight of the week. And then all the other great stuff on the network. And also, if you want to support them, go to patreon.com/SNME radio for only $4 American per month. And then I want to thank everybody watching on the YouTube side, whether you're on Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, whether you're on Backbreaker Video. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. We want to hear from you. We want to talk to you. We love getting your opinions on stuff. Mike always if we get comments on Mike Shanda, he'll send them our way. So we know people are talking to us there. So please comment down below, and also don't forget to hit before that, hit the notification bell. Don't forget to share us out to all your friends, family, and crazy people that yell and scream things on the corner. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong. We don't we got enough
Hello.
we got enough crazies in this area. We don't need
Well,
more.
if they share
We
it out
go
to
to
them,
freaking
maybe.
capacity.
Well, maybe if they shared it with them, they'll start screaming about us on the corner. Come on.
You know that's fair. Free advertising. Do it.
Yeah, see.
Take us into it, my friend.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into some best. We're gonna start on the 26th. We're kicking off with Kushida versus Ninja Mack. Again, really a good match. Ninja Mack and Kushida, I thought, really flowed well. The technical style with the high flying flippy style of Mack. With Kushida does have a flippiness to him. I thought really did good together. The end of the match though. Ninja Mack rolls through a Hurricane Rana and reverses, gets a stack pin into a roll up, and he gets the win.
Yeah. That was a shocker for me because Kushida has been on such a roll, but it was such a surprise ending, and you could tell on the look of on Kushida's face that he was as surprised as
Mm.
anybody else. Um, this match I thought was a really fun one, as you mentioned, a lot of acrobatics, especially from Ninja Mack in this one. And Kushida does have that adaptability to be able to kind of pull a little bit of everything out of a little magical pouch that is hanging off of his belt somewhere, I think. Um, yeah, I thought that they wrestled this one really, really good. It was just again surprising to see Kushida take the loss on this one,
Mm.
um, especially given what happened with the next one, the 28th show too.
Mm. Because yeah,
Yeah,
this was a B block match, which we get more B block matches on the 28th. So
correct. But yeah, that was a great way to start off the Super Junior kind of aspect. Or yeah, wait, this was a whole Super Junior show, so this was a great opener, great
mm.
fun opener. Ninja
Yep.
Mac very popular over in Japan. Makes me happy to see.
Oh heck yeah.
Mm.
We're gonna move on. It's Kosei Fujita versus Hayata. Fujita catches Hayata into a bridging German for 2. They both men going for their finishers. Hayata gets a spinning fisherman neckbreaker and then hits Kosei Fujita with the Shiomi impact for the win.
Mhm. This was a fun match because we have been
Mm.
really enjoying Kosei Fujita and his technical kind of prowess, if you will. The second coming, really, of Zack Sabre Jr. in the
Oh yeah.
ring. I mean, what better mentor than Zack Sabre Jr. himself? But Hayata has been a very fun person for me to kind of get to know in this tournament because there's been some interesting losses that he's had, but then
Mm.
also some really awesome freaking wins. This guy is a great striker. He's a great power wrestler. He's got some aerial expertise also. He's got some really good technical background. Like this he's so good. He's
Mm-hmm.
been like a nice little secret that maybe I just haven't been paying attention to enough, but it's been such a treat to watch him along this tournament. It's even been more of a treat to watch Kosei Fujita just blossom into the Itchy Band Spicy Boy. I know that's
Ah,
not his name anymore, but that's what I like to call him.
the itchy band Punky Boy.
Punky Boy, yes. The young punk, is it what he's called now?
He is the young punk. Yeah, the Japanese young punk, as they call him.
I love it.
Oh,
He's evolved so nicely.
I love me some Kosei Fujita. Again,
Mhm,
he's only gotten 2 wins so far in this tournament to this point, but
mhm.
even in all his losses, he still looks really good. He hasn't looked
Yeah.
poorly coming out of any of his losses.
No, not even a little bit. All of his losses, despite them being losses, have been very strong,
Mm,
and he has fought to the bitter end to not lose. So
mm.
yeah, props to Kosei Fujita. I mean, this is his first Super Junior kind of tournament thing. I look forward to seeing him next year, especially with how good he is and how much he seems to be growing. Next year, I could see him taking the whole tournament.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Hmm.
We move on. It's Dragon Dia, the winless Dragon
Daya,
Dia taking on
it's Daya.
Dragon Dia, whatever. Dragon Dia, the
Come
winless
on,
Dragon
it's
Dia
the name.
taking on the junior heavyweight champion in show. Um, wasn't a bad match up till all the stuff happened. Show gets a wrench. Yujiro tries to use the stick, but Dia avoids it, takes out Show. Show ends up pushing the ref into Dia and spears Dia. Dia does come back with repeated roll ups for 2 on Show. Show catches Dia, power bombs him into the ref, then hits him with a low blow. Yujiro comes in using the skateboard, and then Show hits a punt kick to the ribs for 2, then hits a sit out dominator for the win.
Shenanigans. I'll
Yeah.
say this though, it was an interesting dynamic with these two because Show again, he's over animated. And you can tell
Mm,
by the picture if you're in audio, he's over animated. It's a lot to the point of obnoxiousness. Like
mm,
there's a realistic point that you can get to, and then there's a hokey point that you can get to. Hoki is just shows basics. He kind of tends to go above and beyond. But Daya did really, really good to match that eccentric energy, and I feel that it actually made it really entertaining to watch. Um, I really am hating the shenanigans, though. I am happy, however, that the two worst members of the shenaniganisms, being Evil, Dick Togo, and recently Ren Narita, are not on this tour. So we don't have to deal with them getting involved. Also, I know it's only a matter of time before they're back, but this to me is an okay kind of combination of House of Torture. I do wish that Daya had gotten the upset on this
Hmm.
and gotten a spoiler win on show, and that maybe someone else differently in the tournament could have taken a loss to give show the points. Just because I feel I don't like someone coming into a tournament and walking away with nothing. Especially when it's their first tournament, because I feel like if even Taka Michinoku can get 2 or 4 points, there shouldn't be a reason why Daya can't at least get 2 as well, or at least 1 with a time limit draw or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So we move on to Bushi versus the former GCW World Champion, Blake Christian. Yes, I say that former because the day before this match happened, current GCW General Manager Matt Cardona, yes, Zack Ryder, stripped Blake Christian of the championship because he would not be able to defend it in Cage of Survival on June the 2nd because he's in Japan for Best of the Super Juniors.
It's not like we didn't know that he was going to be over there a month in advance.
Yeah, I just it's like Blake
It make sense.
Blake won this title last year on June 4th at Cage of Survival. So he would have been
And they
364 days as champion because we had a leap year this year. Everything was leap year this year.
how
He would have been,
insulting.
but he stripped him early at 356 days. So, yeah.
Is there some kind of story here? Does he just not like Blake?
I think GCW just wanted the title because Cage of Survival is all about this like gauntlet survival match in a cage for the title every year.
Then why did you send your champion over to a tournament that you knew? Sir, make it make sense.
Well,
This
in
is that
reality,
continuity shit that I don't like happening within professional wrestling. Because as if you didn't know that this guy was going to be over here. And to take away the title from him while he's not even there, that was stupid. How concussed are you, Mr. Cardona? How concussed?
obviously,
Take a breather.
very.
Take a time out.
So
Go stand behind your woman while she's talking to the manager or something.
So I just need to bring this up during we're recording this the day after Cage of Survival happened. In that show, so Nick Gage wins the title, the vacant title, and then Broski Jimmy Lloyd, who is coming to town soon, beat him for the title. During Gauntlet of Survival because the Gauntlet match is the win. But again, they declare each person a champion, so somebody could win.
So each winner progressively is the champion.
Yes. So
wow,
and
that's
then
some top talent shit.
And then Joey Janela beat Jimmy Lloyd to win the title, and he won Cage of Survival. But Mance Warner then came out and cashed in his do or die contract to become the new GCW World Champion. GCW, man.
Do you need a flowchart to remember the night from these? That seems that seems gloriously chaotic and not in a fun way.
Mm-hmm.
That's disappointing. That's disappointing. I feel for Blake because, like, to hold the title for that long, to just have it kind of yanked away from you suddenly when you were doing so good, I feel like that kind of pulls the kind of rug ceremoniously out from under his feet. That's really disappointing, especially when he's been doing so good and been such a great representation of GCW on this tour. That's a bit of a piss off.
Yeah.
Take
Again,
us into the
just
match finally, because we've just been
yeah.
rambling about this now.
I just had to hate on that. It's just I fucking hate it. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, like it's one of those reality things. Make it make sense. It's very obvious. You knew he was going to be there. You knew
Yeah.
because he's not going to end the tour early when he's still in the tournament. So, like, Doofus McDipshit, come on, make it make sense. This is why people
Yeah.
get mad at wrestling and make fun of us wrestling fans for liking it because of the lack of continuity and a big assery of bullshit.
Mm.
Mm.
So this was, I thought, a really strong match. Bushi and Blake Christian just proving why he shouldn't have been stripped of the GCW Championship. Commentary was talking about it on this show. They did a
Mhm.
conversations about it. But in the end, Blake Christian misses a springboard dive, but he goes, but like then he hops, lands on his feet, and then goes right into a handspring and comes back into a beautiful cutter, and then he follows it up
Mhm.
springboard 450, and he gets the win. But man, I thought these two just flowed so well together in this match.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of feel, and correct me if you think I'm wrong about this, but I feel like Bushi has been a really great gatekeeper for the junior division
Hmm.
because Bushi can have a great match with freaking anybody. Like absolutely anybody, any style, anything. I remember his match with El Lindemann. Completely different styling from his own because Lindemann does no lucha libre, no aerials, no nothing. He's just straight up power like Saida. And they had such a great chemistry. This was exactly the same. Bushi playing face, Blake being heel, heating up the crowd, getting them pissy with him, flipping them off. He has this effortless charisma now in his second run here with NJPW that I'm just absolutely loving. So it kind of boils my blood a little bit that they stripped him of the title right at a pivotal moment of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, stupido.
Very
Real
stupido.
stupido.
Very stupido. Yeah, I feel so bad for Blake Christian, man. Like just,
Yeah.
but
Not fair,
I,
man. Not
but I
fair.
think, but I think for him, what's better, being the GCW World Champion or getting to participate in the best junior heavyweight tournament of the year, and get your like to really be shown on the New Japan stage? I think that's almost in a way better because you're getting all these highlight moments. So
Yeah, but he came over as the champion and
I know.
he's going home not a champion and he literally did nothing to defend or retain said championship. When you put it in that kind of sense or like wording, it's just like,
Mm.
why?
Well,
How dare you?
he better get a shot at Mance Warner. That's all I can say.
Unquestionably.
Hmm.
Unquestionably, because this it makes me feel like they just purposely took the wind out of his sails. And again, at a pivotal moment of the tournament. It's like,
Hmm.
why just yank all of his confidence right then? Just for the sake of that. Like why couldn't they change it for the sake for this 1 year and have it be a number one contenders thing?
Yeah,
That when he
could have been.
comes back, you know?
Hmm. It's worth just as much, honestly.
It really is.
Yeah.
Arg. Let's
All
move on
right.
before I get mad.
We move on. It's Taiji Ishimori. It's a B block match. Taiji Ishimori versus Joe Moloney. Honestly, I was a little disappointed with this match. It was good. Don't get me wrong, but way too short. It was only 6 minutes and
Yeah.
16 seconds. Same thing with Brick Christian and Bushi. It was way too short. Um,
Mhm.
Drilla ends up at the end of it. Drilla ends up going for the Drilla killer. Ishimori slips out, turns it into a bloody cross for the win. Again, right when he lost here, I'm like, he's done. I was kind of pissed. I was pissed. I'm like, he's done. Like he's out of this tournament. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, we were hopeful. We were very hopeful that our picks could pull it out, pull out a win there and stuff. We'll talk about what happened with my pick later in the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I wanted to mention or add to this is the styles clash that Drilla pulled off on Ishimori. The way he set it up too, it was so quick, so effortless, and looked so good. Also, just wanted to point out Ishimori. I don't know if you've known. Have you been watching the intros or no?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes I don't think I watched him on this one.
When Ishimori comes in, taking a little what's the word? Chapter out of his good friend and stablemate Chase Owens's book. Now, when he's doing the gun, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
big bang. I like it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's an evolution for the character, and we're starting to see this kind of because for a while there we kind of got the goofy, silly, fun-loving Ishimori who is teaming with ELP. Now we're kind of getting this, that muscle chihuahua savage kind of like he's not quite a war dog, but he's a war chihuahua. And that is just as good. I mean, come on, man. Wouldn't you want this war chihuahua on your side of the war zone? I know I
Oh,
would.
yes, for sure. But it sounds kind of demeaning in a way, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like
It isn't. No, he's just small, and he knows it, and he accepts it, much like most of us little short people. We just have to make up for it with our savagery, and we're starting to see this emergence of savagery again with Taiji Ishimori, and I'm kind of loving it because it matches the vibe of the rest of the war dogs who are there, like Clark Connors, Drilla Moloney, David Finley, Gabe Kidd. Like it really does match and makes their kind of joiner make sense. But yeah, I agree. This match was too short. I really enjoyed what I did get, but I would have liked to see a little bit more.
Yeah, just like at LPW at the main event, I would have liked a little bit more.
Well, I mean, Royce Isaacs.
We move on. It's Titan versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. I thought it was Bushi for a second. It was like, what? No, wait, no.
Nope, wrong mask.
End of this match comes Titan getting these beautiful combination punches and kicks, dropping Kanemaru. Does that back roll up to the top rope. He goes for the double stomp, but Kanemaru gets the feet up, kicking him in the face. Kanemaru ends up pushing Titan into the refs as he's going for a tornado DDT. Then pulls at the mask of Titan, and Kanemaru pulls a victory roll, and he gets the win.
Heel mastering on this one is what this was. This was smart wrestling by Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and you know, there was nothing that Teton could have done differently or better to make this even better. It was a really great battle of like literally good and evil. And what I'm loving about Kanemaru in this tournament is that he is not doing what his counterpart Show is doing and relying on Yujiro to come out and kind of help him out. Kanemaru is securing his own victories with his own skill and like arsenal of moves and his overall intelligence. Yeah, targeting the knee as per usual, Kanemaru. But what I love about him is that he does it with so many different things that you never know what he's going to do to kind of follow it up. Much like someone like Robbie Eagles, he'll start doing the 450 to the leg to get ready for that Ron Miller special. He's also taught Kosei Fujita that. Fujita will start to soften things up with different kind of strikes and moves and all that. So I really do enjoy that Kanemaru does that. The unlacing of the mask, I don't like. It's cheap. It's like, you can beat them. I know it's just cheap heel stuff, but like, You didn't need to do that, Kanemaru. You had the skill and ability. It was just a cheap distraction. Um, there was a tornado DDT by Teton, followed by a springboard dropkick and a tope con hilo, which is just a mouthful to say, but so good and so funny to listen to Walker Stewart try to ramble out as quickly as possible.
It really
It's been
is.
nice to have Walker on this tour because he has so much different knowledge, but then we also get that different kind of voice now that's coming in, and his voice is really starting to become synonymous with NJPW, and he's so knowledgeable.
Oh yeah.
I've also been enjoying how he's been taking some lessons, or he took some lessons from Kevin Kelly, having other people on commentary when Chris Charlton is not available. We've been able to listen to Robbie Eagles, Drilla Moloney. Drilla, I think, was with Chris Charlton, but still, it's been really cool to, or was he with Walker? I can't
He was with
remember.
Walker. It was Walker, like one of like I think Walker's like second show in. Then because he missed the
Okay.
first couple shows. I think it was like because he did one with Chris, and then he ended up having Drilla on for another. Or he had Drilla or Robbie, then he had Robbie, then he had Drilla. So yeah.
Yeah, it's been really cool to get a different kind of commentary because he's doing very, very well on his own, but then also playing off whoever he has on commentary with him very, very well
Mm-hmm.
as well. Yeah, again, I don't like the ripping at the mask. So that he ripped the mask right off to get that victory roll and that the ref didn't see kind of aggravated me. But it is what it is with this one. He has kind of been pulling different kind of wins throughout this tournament, so it makes sense that he would pull off this one, this style of kind of win to kind of ensure that he still has that variety happening in his
Yeah.
matches.
So we move on to my pick of the show. Is Clark Connors versus Kevin Knight. Knight does this beautiful, like Connors goes for a spear immediately, and Knight just hops over him. But Connors comes back, just a just beautiful lariat. It's just a great way to start. They end up on the floor. Knight ends up putting Connors on the chair and goes from the floor, hops up onto the apron. He has him sitting in a chair, and then hops up 1 foot on the apron and hops off and just double stomps Connors in the chair. It was
Yeah,
great.
so
Um,
great.
Knight goes for another dive off the apron, but Connors dodges, hits a snap power slam on the floor. Then he gets that chair, hits Knight with it, then puts it on top of him, and then picks up young lion Nakajima and slams him onto the chair on Knight. It was pretty funny.
Was it Nakajima? I
think
don't
so.
know Nakajima.
I heard Nakajima or something like that. I think it was him.
Was it Nakajima or Murashima?
Oh, maybe it was Murashima. I don't think there's a Nakajima, is there? That's
No,
what I thought I heard.
Nakashima is injured right now, isn't he?
I don't know.
Wasn't
Yeah,
that the
Nakajima's
news?
in England. Why did I think Nakajima? Yeah, Murashima, that's it.
Because we're missing Nakashima, and we hope he gets better soon so we can see him again.
Yeah, you're right, because Nakashima would be really big. I don't know if Connors could lift Nakajima. I just thought of that.
Oh no, he absolutely could. He
Nakajima's a
absolutely
big
could.
boy. Nakajima's a big boy.
And Clark Connors is a very strong boy, and we have
That's true.
seen him yeet people around who are Nakashima size.
Yeah, so sorry. He slammed Murashima on tonight because it had the chair on it. I'm literally Murashima.
Murashima.
There, done. I changed it. Back in the ring, Knight fights back, and he gets a rolling thunder twisting frog splash for 2. Later in the match, Connors dodges a lariat, hits a beautiful Jeep flip. Knight ends up dodging a spear, gets a drop kick, but Connors comes back with that gore, but he only gets 2. Knight hits a super kick, put Connors up top. Connors fights off the superplex, so Knight hits the hop up Rana. Connors then reverses the spike DDT, but as he lifts Knight for no chaser, Knight reverses into that pendulum spike DDT for the win.
I mean, what else can we say to this? I don't have a whole lot to add on this one except for an aesthetic thing, really. Connors wasn't wearing boots. Wasn't even wearing wrestling boots. It looked like he was wearing hikers.
Mm-hmm.
Flying fruitcake. What falala was that? Sir, your boots are a problem. They're a constant problem. I don't like how they look. Which is unfortunate because the rest of his gear is so good and fits the rest of his personality so good. It's weird that the boots to be a problem. They've been a problem this whole tour. Blake Christian blew out those brand new ones that he hasn't put them on since. Smart man.
Yep.
Yeah, this was a great match. Interesting to see Knight pick up a win over one of the IWGP junior champions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, did Drilla get beaten by?
Ishimori.
No. I was gonna ask. Kushida. Are they in the same block? I didn't write down which blocks were what.
Yeah, they're in the same block. Kushida lost to Drilla Moloney. Moloney beat him.
Interesting.
And
I
Moloney beat
mean,
Kushida.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if Kevin Knight chooses to cash in on that because Connors has dropped a few losses to
Mm-hmm.
some prominent tag team people and has Drilla. So it'll be interesting to see what results from that for sure. Yeah, otherwise, good pick. Good pick.
We move on to the semi-main event of the May 26th show. It is Hiromu Takahashi versus Robbie Eagles with Kosei Fujita. End of this match. I thought these two just did so well together. Like Hiromu getting more and more technical with how he works. So him and Robbie just flowing in here was so good. Yeah, there was a lot of you had mentioned it and I saw it. There was a lot of repeated stuff throughout. Like in Robbie going to that Ron Miller a bunch, but again, that's his big thing. And again, yeah, and Hiromu going to those chokes and everything a lot too. But again, it just worked like more of a technical match. The end though, Hiromu hits the Hiromu-tan bomber or the Hiromu-shan bomber, then another one to drop Robbie Eagles. Eagles fights off the time bomb, finally hits a turbo backpack, but can only get two, but transitions into the Ron Miller special. But and Eagles keeps pulling Hiromu back to center. Eagles unlocks it at one point, attacks the leg, reapplies, but Hiromu does eventually get to the ropes. This is where Hiromu drops just this big knee onto Hiromu, then goes for that high.
Hiromu drops a big knee on Hiromu.
No, sorry, Robbie drops a big knee onto Hiromu. I apologize, and he goes for the Hyperion kick, but Hiromu dodges and then rolls him up for the just surprise win out of nowhere, which Hiromu has done a lot in this tournament.
He has, yeah. You see, he had that arm kind of trapped right up in there, so he had even more kind of trapped in there. He only had his one shoulder to really try to muscle his way out of there. And unfortunately, it just wasn't enough with the weight of Hiromu on top of him. This was actually one of my picks for match of the show. Just because of how technically sound and good this match was. There was at one point they had a chop off at the beginning there where Robbie baited Hiromu to the outside of the ring. They started chopping each other. They got bloody. I believe Walker Stewart had the best description of like it's starting to look like raw meat on their chest. And yeah, gosh dang. I mean, we saw locally our friend JJ Spade. He got his titties tenderized by Harlan Abbott. Holy shit. Chop talk to come on that soon. But he did it not once but twice. And the second time when they were trying to get back in, I love how he allowed Hiromu to go in to break the count, but then immediately starts working on the leg while Hiromu is still on the apron, trying to soften it up for that Ron Miller. It was a battle of who could soften up what the quickest throughout this match in combination with just such an emotional intensity. There's such a history between these two, and there was such a story there. And like what I love about it, and like a lot of these matches, is that there is so much history between all of the competitors and some none at all. And they're creating history. But because there is so much history with some of these competitors, they're able to create these really fun stories in the spur of the moment in these matches. And you know me, I love my stories. And this was such a story. What a match. I was so disappointed Robbie lost, but there was no shame in this loss because goddamn, to the bitter end, he was fighting. You could see him still kicking, trying to get out of that pin from Hiromu. But unfortunately, again, like I said, he trapped 3 of his limbs. Unfortunately, he just didn't have the strength to get out of it.
Again, I thought incredibly technical match while both having such highlight moments throughout, and then just beating the piss out of each other on top of it all. Just, I thought so good with these two.
100%.
Move on to Mel's pick of the evening. It is El Desperado versus TJP, the man on a mission, the man who can't lose because he needs every win to possibly get him to the finals. TJP getting the best of a test of strength early on, gets him Despy down into a couple pins, then transitions it into a sharpshooter while holding onto one of the arms, and then he turns that sharpshooter into a bow and arrow. I love the transitions that were going on there. So good.
So good.
A little bit later in the match, TJP dodges a shoulder tackle through the ropes, hits a drop kick to Despy, who's like partway through the ropes, sending him to the floor. Then he hits this like plancha over the top plancha wrecking ball drop kick to Despy on the floor, sends him back in, and hits a phenomenal forearm off the top. Just such a great sequence.
Yeah.
A little later, Despy gets Guitarra de Angel for 2, then tries for Pinche Loco, but TJP ends up running him into the corner. But he ends up tossing TJP over the top to the apron, and he snaps the arm now because he's been working on the arm throughout the match. Desperado gets him up top. He goes to the top, pulls him up for a suplex, but TJP knocks him off, hits a Mamba Splash for 2, but then Desperado pulls him into a submission. Then TJP transitions into an octopus. Then Desperado transitions into the stretch muffler. Then the TJP transitions out, and then they trade a bunch of pinfalls. Just so good, man. Oh, dude. Despy versus an octopus into a Pinche Loco, but TJP reverses the Pinche Loco into 2 pinning attempt. And then Desperado comes back with this huge spine buster, just almost putting TJP through the mat. And then the end of the match, TJP avoids Pinche Loco on the apron, suplexes Desperado and puts him onto the ropes. Then he goes to the top, hits a Mamba Splash onto the ropes, hits the running knee for 2, then another running knee to the back of the head, goes to the top, full on Mamba Splash, and TJP is your winner.
Yes. 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 All the yes. This was such a good match. This was just like instructional video of how good these two guys were. Again, the flow, just the flow of transitions, the flow of chain wrestling, the flow into all the different submissions, the bow and arrow, like everything was just so damn good. And again, another story here, which I love, being told with the desperation of TJP, but also desperation with Desperado. I feel like he's kind of getting to the end of the tournament, starting to realize some people coming up a little close, getting a little cheeky. He wants to kind of be the one kind of going to the finals, so he's going to be fighting a little harder, and especially coming off of that loss to Clark Connors. The embarrassment and he must be feeling after losing the mask. After that one, it's such a matter of pride to have that kind of, I mean, let's flat out dishonor forced on him in that. Yeah, this match was so damn good. Yeah, you got all the good spots.
Sorry.
Thank you, my friend. No, this is
I
good.
left a
This is
few in there, but
No, this is so good because like you're better with the move names and everything than I am anyway.
yes.
But yeah, this was such just what's the word? A clinic for these two. You want to see the absolute best of both of these guys? Watch this match.
Yeah,
So damn good.
this was just a technical and like perfectly thought out match. Like
Mhm,
the psychology on everything just came together so well. The technical ability of both men was just shown off so good, and how they transitioned
mhm,
through so many submissions, so many moves.
mhm,
It's just these two are pros, and it just shows how good these guys both are, and that both men of these men should be
mhm.
at the top of the junior division.
100%. Everything these guys do makes sense.
Mm,
Absolutely everything. And if they can't make it make sense, they make it make sense anyway. Like there's nothing about these guys' interactions that ever looks questionable, ever looks weird, ever looks silly. They're just so freaking good.
mm.
So damn good. I wonder what's gonna happen with Desperado? Because he really does kind of seem like he's just kind of a lone wolf right now. I I worry because I want to see the junior title on him again. I feel like he could do some great things to elevate, especially because he already has kind of a name established in the US. I feel like he would be a good guest to kind of have over back and forth because he could go on to the GCW scene.
Mm.
He could go on to the AEW scene. They know him there. Absolutely could try Impact or ROH. So yeah, I'm curious to see what happens because I want to see him with a faction. I want to see him get some backup because once he does get that junior title, because I know it's going to come eventually, who's going to help him? Because
Well,
Show's going to come out of the rafters and Show has House of Torture. Hot Tie
well,
and Chaos are not known for helping their dudes.
to that point though, when he was having issues earlier, and God was in town, YLP and Hikule were making saves for him.
That is true.
when
That is
when they're
true.
in town, he has backup from them when they're in town, but it's only when they're in town,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, he's not a member of GOD, and I'm not
no,
gonna lie, I don't think he would be a good member of GOD
no.
anyway.
But it's nice to know that when those guys are in town, they're willing to back him up. At least they're willing to come
Yeah,
out and
it's
deal with
true.
house torture shit. So
Yeah, but that shouldn't be something he has to rely upon. I would like to see him eventually either, get some other people together, either from other factions, because maybe it's time for a shakeup, or maybe NJPW gets some new people, maybe.
possible.
Find some new people, even if they're not full timers, if they just come over once every couple of months for tours, I'd still be happy because it would give Desperado some time to do some things on his own, get a story going, and then have his people come over and kind of help elevate that. I don't know. But at the same time, I'm curious to see what happens with TJP. Is he going
Yeah,
to come out the winner of this tournament? Is he going to take over leadership of the United Empire? Is the United Empire going to stay together?
yeah. There's
I
so
hope
many
so
different.
because we need that.
We move on to the March 28th show. Only four tournament matches from the show. Robbie Eagles on
Mhm.
commentary for this. He joined commentary after his match.
So good.
Yeah, so we get a opening. It's all B block matches on the show, all four of them, because again, Akira's match is off this and show, and I think somebody, I can't remember who, one of the guys who wasn't on this show. It was a B block. I can't remember. No, it was Robbie Eagles. Yeah, Robbie Eagles was the B block guy that wasn't on the show. That makes sense that he was on commentary. I'm dumb. It's Dragon Dia versus Ninja Mack. Again, this was a very flippy, let's fly around match. I really enjoyed this. Down towards the end, though, Dia reverses an electric chair and pops up out of the electric chair to stand on Ninja Mack's shoulders, and then jumps up and stomps his shoulders coming down. That looked really cool. I've never seen a move done quite like that before. He gets a 2 count. He gets a crucifix drive for 2, then goes up. He goes for the DDDT, the quad DDT, the quad DT, the DDDT, the DDDT, the Dragon Dia DDT, the quadruple DT. But it's going for it. Ninja Mack super kicks him, dropping him, and hits that corkscrew down kick, and he gets the win.
This was an interesting one. I was definitely hoping, again, that Dia would be able to get a couple points. That being said, though, I felt that this was a great kind of aerial match. I really do like how Dia took over kind of being the facial expression guy in this one, because he does do a lot of facial expressions very well throughout the tournament, but he definitely stepped them up in this one, especially because, like, Ninja Mack actually does a phenomenal job in conveying emotion despite having an entire full mask with his head movements and his body movements. You can tell when he's surprised. You can tell when he's like trying to hulk up and stuff like that. I really did enjoy how these two kind of interacted, because it kind of felt like it's gonna sound like a weird description, but it was like a softcore lucha libre match. So it makes sense. Like, it was very much, there was a lot of things that they had that were lucha, but like not the annoying things of lucha. Does that make sense? Like, it had all the good bits. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Again, I would have liked to see Dia pick up the win on this one, but it was still a really entertaining and fun match to watch.
Yeah, very much so. It's a Dia's still undefeated with all but one of his matches left. And
Undefeated?
Sorry, not undefeated. Hasn't
Completely defeated.
Completely defeated. Has not got a win yet. I don't know. My brain's not working. Yeah. He is unwinned. He's unwinned.
He is unvictorious.
Unvictorious with only KUSHIDA left on the final night for him. That's it. That's a mountain to climb. That's a mountain to climb.
Is it though? KUSHIDA has dropped some silly losses in this tournament, but picked up some incredible wins. But the people who we expected him to beat, he lost to. And the people that we expected him to fall to, he won.
And speaking of KUSHIDA, we get KUSHIDA versus Douki. Again, I thought these two had a really good match together. I think they flow well together. Again, both men have submission work they do. Both have a submission finisher. They both are working for very special things. But the end of the match comes. They're on the floor. KUSHIDA back body drops Douki into the ropes from the floor, and he bounces off the floor into a DDT, and then bounces back into a DDT to KUSHIDA on the floor. He sends him in, hits Daybreak, and then he applies the Italian stretch number 32, and KUSHIDA eventually gives up, and Douki gets the win.
The Douki Chokey, Andre.
What are you talking about? They call it the Italian stretch 32.
You shush your face.
I'm just going with what Eagles and Walker said.
Well, it is time they are educated properly. It is not an Italian, whatever the fizzity you said. It is the Douki Chokey. And he has been beating people with the Douki Chokey this whole tournament. I am not going to lie. I thought that KUSHIDA was going to pick up this win. Despite Douki having a really dominant tournament this year, I expected KUSHIDA's the role that he is on, I expected him to pick up this win. So Yeah, again, as I mentioned, he's picking up losses where we expected him to win and picking up wins where we expected him to lose. On paper, looking at Daya's record in this tournament, looking at Kushida's record, by all intents and purposes, Kushida should pick up the win. But bless his heart, I'm concerned now. I'm concerned. However, I had a lot of fun with this one. This one was a little bit closer to a lucha kind of style match, a lot of aerial, a lot of technical. Um these two worked so well together. This was like almost a Hiromu Douki level match for me with less insanity and more professionalism. Does that make sense? Because Hiromu tends to be a little unhinged, and he will bring out the unhinged in others, which we have seen multiple times with Douki. Whereas Kushida, he's very calm, he's very composed when he's in the ring, and he tends to bring that out in his opponents. And that's what this match absolutely was. So good. So good.
Yeah. So we move on to Mel's pick for the show. It is Taiji Ishimori versus Show. You picked Show. You picked the Show match. What? What? No,
Yeah, I
no.
know.
This has to be wrong.
No, it was so good. It
Yeah,
was
it
so
actually
good.
really was. I think it was the best
Yeah,
match I've seen Show have this whole tournament. Um,
I
it's
think
a
it's the
weird,
best match we've seen him have all year.
possibly, yeah. So Show is making comments on the mic about like maybe calling the match off and giving Taiji Ishimori the win, to get him to like help him win this tournament. But as they go for the 2 feet, Taiji Ishimori just rolls him up, trying to get a pin. I was like, I guess Ishimori wants to win. They're on the floor. Ishimori ends up running Show into the post, and then hits him with the bell hammer, pulling some tactics out of pulling some house torture tactics out, screwing with Show, and then he goes in the ring and removes the corner pad. I was just like, all right, I like this. I like that he's screwing with Show here. Show works over the ribs in the match. He gets this spin off the shoulder gut buster for 2. He follows it up with a spear in the corner and then puts him across the top, hits that running rising knee to the ribs, hits a 2 count. And this is where Robbie Eagles calls Show vomit inducing. Oh,
I had a
me
good
so happy.
chuckle on that one. Robbie Eagles on commentary was precious. That was a national treasure.
Mm.
So good. He's really good on commentary. Is there anything that Robbie Eagles can't do? Because he's a champion. He's an instructor. He's a mentor. He owns his own school.
Mm.
He's great at commentary. Clearly great at teaching. Like, man, most well-rounded wrestler in professional wrestling right now.
Mm. Later in the match, Ishimori stops Show getting the wrench, and he gets a low blow. Ishimori gets the wrench, but Yujiro shows up and hits him with the stick. Yujiro tosses Marty got taken out. It went. Marty got speared by Show. Yujiro
Mhm.
tosses Marty back in, but Marty's too hurt to count the pin for Show. This is where Red Shoes enters the match.
Because Yujiro drug him out.
Yeah. Straight jacket pile driver by Show, but Ishimori reverses it, the sit out dominator, gets the bone lock. But this is where Yujiro rings the bell. So Ishimori thinks he won. So he breaks the hold, that whole bloody crap that happens there. But
Mhm.
he hasn't won the match. Ishimori is like does this like flip kick. What the hell did I write here?
Was it the handspring kick to Ishimori
Oh
on
yeah, hits
the
the handspring kick to Yujiro, sending him off the apron. But Show then pushes the ref into Ishimori, and then he low blows Ishimori. Show goes for shock arrow, but Ishimori flips through, picks him up, bloody cross, and Ishimori pins Show.
partially why I picked it is because Show lost.
Mm-hmm.
But also partially, like, the other part is because holy heckin' crap, before Yujiro when Yujiro wasn't involved, it was like we were looking at Roppongi 3K Show.
Mm-hmm.
It was that good. Because even back then, he was so good. He just he lacked a certain charisma because I feel like he gave up a lot to Yo, and because he did that for so long, he didn't quite know how to like be that charismatic person. Now he's being this like over the top lunatic that we kind of see where it's a lot. It's hokey at the best of times, which is unfortunate. Um, but before Yujiro was involved, it was so good. He was putting on a clinic that he used to back in the day. It was like we were looking at an old version of show that was just undeniably talented. And I loved it. It was a nice little, it took me back a couple of years because Ishimori is Ishimori. He's just heckin' good all the damn time. So to see him having this amazing, just clean, technical power match with Show was just so good. It was a treat and a privilege to watch. I hate the shenanigans though. The shenanigans did take away a lot from this match, but again, thankfully, because the three main awful shenaniganizers weren't in attendance, the shenanigans were not quite to a point and level of obnoxiousness that they usually can get to. It was what I would consider an appropriate level of shenanigans, which going forward, please do. This is the kind of House of torture that I can deal with. This is the kind of torture that I can accept as normal from this faction. But to have the like 5-on-1 or 6-on-1 beatdowns that these guys do typically when all of them are together, it's bullshit. Gato, fix it. This was perfection. Please tell me this was perfection because Gato was involved. Take some ideas from this. Push it going forward. This is what I want to see.
Yeah, I can deal with the interference when it's slightly annoying, not when it's just overwhelmingly terrible.
Yeah, and like up until this tournament, it has been overwhelmingly terrible. But up until this match, it still was pretty terrible. This was perfect for what it is that I'm willing to deal with.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
We move on to my pick, the main event. It's Hiromu Takahashi versus Drilla Moloney. And again, Hiromu's in there with that wet willy.
He really is. And Drilla looks really happy about it.
Yeah. Tetsuya Naito is on commentary. So they're fighting out. They're fighting. They're a good start, and then they fight out to the floor. Drilla goes over to Naito and just flips his hat off the table, just being a dick. It was great. I love it. He ends up chop blocking Hiromu on the floor, gets a leg trap stretch on the floor. They go back in the ring. He's working the leg, gets a figure four around the post, slams the knee into the post. He continues beating up on the knee in the ring with like stomps and knee bars. Hiromu does fight back eventually. It gets a Hiromu-chan bomber, hits another Hiromu-chan bomber, and then we get a Drilla-chan bomber by Drilla, and then hits the gore, but Hiromu reverses a Drilla killer into a sunset bomb. Drilla ends up chop blocking the knee of Hiromu, pulls the knee bar, and then gets the Achilles lock on. Keeps readjusting at center, but Hiromu does eventually get to the ropes. He scores a Canadian Destroyer off the second rope for 2, then gets a time bomb, but only gets 2. Hits a Hiromu-chan bomber. Then they each reverse each other. Hiromu pulls a D. That's what it's called. It's called the D. He pulls out a D, which is the triangle. But Drilla gets him up, power bombs the shit out of him, hits him with a Drilla killer, and it's over. But it's not because Hiromu got a foot on the ropes on the pin. Like, what? No. And they even said, well, it's not really a kick out because he got his foot on the ropes. So it's not somebody kicking out of the move. So because the Drilla killer probably is the most protective move right now in New Japan. I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. No one's kicked out of it. There's no way. No way.
Yeah. So, and then this is where Robbie Eagles is kind of chastising Drilla for not being more aware of the ring when he went for the pin. And so Drilla pulls him to center, 1, 2, and then Hiromu kicks out, cradles Drilla for the 1, the 2, and the 3, and the win. And Drilla is pissed. He goes attacking Hiromu, pulls him over the corner, applies the figure 4 on the post again after the match. And this is where the Young Lions have to come in and pull him off. But man, this match was so good. I was disappointed by the result, but this match was so good.
Yeah. Did you see the Young Lions not quite knowing if they should interfere when he put them in the figure 4? There's a couple new Young Lions that I don't recognize at ringside right now. Freshly buzzed and I don't know, like Orange Cassidy's freshly squeezed.
We'll probably see them get beat up at Dominion.
Yeah. I mean, Drilla was throwing fists at them when they were trying to break up the figure 4 on the post there. Drilla rightfully mad. That was a cheeky roll up by Hiromu there, and arguably a desperate one. I don't think that Hiromu's neck could have taken another Drilla killer.
No.
Especially after it was surgically repaired, you know? Yeah, what a freaking interesting match for Drilla Moloney, though. We saw a different side of him in this one, in that we don't always see him doing technical stuff. It's not to say that he's not capable. We just don't see him doing it because he's known for being that kind of big little strong guy. You know, like he's I would say a heavyweight junior. Like he's on the heavier end of the junior division, but a lighter end of the heavyweight division, if that would make sense. He like TJP to me. He could go into either division, and I think he could make it work no matter what. That being said, like, again, we saw him working a lot of technical stuff in this one, really picking apart that knee, pulling down the knee pad, ripping off that trainer's tape, pounding directly on the kneecap. It was so smart. So smart. What we saw in this one was a different kind of war dog coming out of Drilla Moloney. We saw a really, really, I would say, a Belgian Malinois, one of those police dogs, for those of you who don't know. Those skinny German shepherds that are typically on the police force. They're not emaciated. That's just how they actually look. Yeah. You know what I would
If
love
you're
to
listening in
see?
audio form, I gave her an Orange Cassidy thumbs up, and she didn't
And
listen.
you know, I would love to see Drilla and Orange Cassidy. I would love to see him and Orange Cassidy. I
I'd
think
love
that
to
would
see
be a great Forbidden Door match.
I'd love to see Cassidy take a Drilla killer. That's what I'd like to see.
I sure would too. That's also partially why I want to see it. Yeah, good choice of pick. This was it. This was actually my second choice for this one.
Yeah,
So
this
good.
is an amazing match. So
Yeah.
we go to the blocks, going into the final night for both blocks. A block. I'm gonna break it down for you. The people alive in this are El Desperado, TJP, Teton, Blake Christian, and Hayata. Desperado just needs to win, and he's automatically in. That if he wins, he has tiebreakers over everybody, and he's fine. So Teton needs to win, and needs Blake Christian to lose to get in. Blake Christian needs to win, and needs Hayata to lose to get in. Hayata needs to win, and needs Blake Christian to lose to get in. Again, it's this weird little messed up triangle. TJP needs the win against Teton, who he's about to face off with on the final night, for the tiebreaker. Then he needs Blake and Hayata both to lose, so that because he has tiebreaker wins over both of them. So he needs pretty much Teton, Blake, and Hayata all to lose in that one shot, so that he beats them all with tiebreakers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff that I've already forgotten.
Yeah, because I think the only person that Desperado doesn't have a the tiebreaker over is Teton, but if he wins and Teton wins, they both would go anyways. So, because he has Christian in the tiebreaker, he's facing Hayata, so that would be a choice kind of on that night. So I guess if he lost to Hayata, he wouldn't get in, but he wins, he gets in. That's the thing. That's what Desperado is. He wins, he gets in. Otherwise, it goes into this weird tiebreaker world where it gets even more.
Let's not. That's going to be
Yeah.
expensive.
So yeah, so it's quite the thing. So yeah, you have Desperado, Teton, Blake Christian had all with 10 points, and you have TJP with 8, along with Kevin Knight with 8, but he can't win even with tiebreakers. He has too many losses to people that are sitting there, along with Karkana, but again, tiebreaker losses, eliminate them. Yoshinobu with Yoshinobu, Kanemaru, and Bushi with 6. Then you have Kosei Fujita with 4 points. So again, I think. Yeah, great tournament for the A block. Just going to the final night. There's still 5 guys alive on the final night. Going to the final night is pretty amazing.
I agree. It's such a great tournament.
Oh heck,
that A block has been the very emotional one. So we have TJP having that Cinderella kind of comeback. Got Christian. I almost said it again. Christian with the GCW chaos. And then HAYATA, definitely been an interesting kind of wrench in this block. It's been such a very fun tournament this year. Let's talk about the B. Yeah.
B block's a little easier. So right now you have Hiromu and Taiji Ishimori with 12. You have Douki, you have Robbie Eagles, and you have Sho with 10. But Sho's 10 is completed because he was supposed to face Francesco Akira on the final night. So his 10 that's all his points. He's done. So he doesn't even get a chance to even get into it. So he's out. Then again, you have.
Hold on. Nelson laughed. Ha ha.
Stupid you have show. Drilla, Moloney. You have Drilla, Moloney, Ninja Mack, and Kushida all with 8. They are mathematically eliminated because again they're 4 points back from Hiromu and Ishimori. If it ended like this, that's it. Those two. Then you have Francesco here with 4, but again he withdrew for the tournament. And Dragon Dia has yet to get a win, still with 0 points. So we'll see. He gets Kushida on the final night. That's not an easy win, but there's a chance because Kushida has lost to Douki. He's lost to Eagles. He's lost to Moloney and he's lost to Mack. So really, the only one that you kind of dropped out of the 4 of those is the Ninja Mack loss as a bad loss in my opinion. Like everything else was Moloney, Eagles, and Douki. Those are 3 people that not surprised beat him. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. They're definitely been more elevated in NJPW in the last year for sure. It does bother me to see Dia with 0 points when he's been in this tournament the whole time. He's wrestled every single match. The poor kid. Eagles has more points Akira has more points than him, and he only wrestled like 4 matches. 2 matches.
Yeah, 4 matches and got 2 wins, so he went 2 for 2.
Yeah,
he went 2 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of hurts my heart a little bit. Gato, fix it, please.
So the guy, everybody that's still alive is Taiji Ishimori, Douki, and Hiromu Takahashi. Now I'm omitting Eagles. As Eagles is out, even with a win, he already has losses to Hiromu and Ishimori, who are both at 12. So he can't beat either in a tiebreaker. So even though he still has a chance to beat Douki, he cannot get into the finals even with a win. So he is out. So you have Douki, you have Eagles, you have Douki, you have Taiji Ishimori, and you have Hiromu Takahashi. Hiromu is facing Takahashi on the final night. So between the 2 of them,
Hiromu is Takahashi, honey.
Sorry, Hiromu is facing Ishimori. My brain just tired. Hiromu's is facing Ishimori on the final night. So those 2, again, it's win and get in. Simple as that. And if they tie or if they draw, they both get in because they both have 13 and nobody can catch them. Right. So again, they could just sit on the outside for 30 minutes and just wait, or sit in the ring for 30 minutes and just wait for a point each.
Spicy noodle eating contest.
Yeah, there you go. So again, it's win and get in. So Hiromu, though, needs to win the match, because if Douki wins his match, then he beats Hiromu. If Hiromu loses to Ishimori, he would get beaten in the tiebreaker if Douki wins.
100%, yeah.
Either way, Ishimori's in. If Ishimori loses and Hiromu goes to 14, even if Douki wins or Eagles wins, either one, he beats them both in a tiebreaker. So any way it stands, Ishimori is going to the semifinals. He's going. It's simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Draw, win, loss, he's going. So Douki needs to beat Eagles and needs Ishimori to beat Hiromu so that he can then beat Hiromu in the tiebreaker after beating Eagles. So
that's a whole lot of connecting dots.
Yeah.
We just made a giraffe.
Again, Ishimori, he's in the final. He's already in the final. It's as simple as that. So,
well, that makes me happy because that gets the muscle chihuahua some more exposure. We know how good he freaking is. He's damn good.
He is damn good. But you know what's damn good? Following me online. You can follow me on the X at That Canada Guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Canada. You can find me on Facebook at Andre M. Melball Wrestling Talk. You can, again, like I said earlier, you can find us on SundayNightsMainEvent.com in audio form. Go over there, hit the RSS feed, see your podcast catcher of choice. And yeah, you can hear all the great stuff from us, all of our Japanese stuff there. You can find all the all the other great content there. Boris Sunday show. They have NXT shows. They have shows talking about old professional wrestling. They have the All Elite Geekly show from Dax Xavier and Boris. Great show there. The Smack Daddies every Saturday reviewing SmackDown. My boy Brad, the dad, on that one. Again, love all the content on that network. So go check them out if you want to support them. Patreon.com/SNME Radio for only $4 American per month. I want to give a shout out to our friends over at our local establishment where me and Mel do shows over there. You can find me next Wednesday, the 12th. I want to say, the 12th, hanging out with my boy Oled, Marvel Talk, and we have our special guest Lauren Goodnight, where we're going to be talking Captain America Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I almost jumped ahead an entire phase. Captain America and the Winter Soldier, one of the arguably the best Marvel movie made. Because again, you take the superhero elements out of it, it's a beautiful spy movie just on its own. So again, we're going to be reviewing that June 12th. So come check us out, hang out with us. 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. One more shout out to our boy Mike the Ref over at Backbreaker Video, youtube.com/@Backbreaker Video, where he simulcasts all of our stuff. Astro Bizarro stuff is simulcasted over there. Lots of great content. He has his AEW watch-alongs there. And if you want to see those live, go to twitch.tv/Mike the Ref every Wednesday, Saturday, and pay-per-view Sunday, where you can check him out reviewing all those shows live. If you want to see the replay of the Double or Nothing one where he did with Mick G, where I finally know what Mick G looks like after all these years of knowing the man, or of talking to the man. I finally know what he looks like. Check that out. And if you want replays of his gaming content that he does on Twitch every other day of the week, go to youtube.com/@Backbreaker_gaming, where you can find stuff from him, Mr. PJC, Mr. Rick Jules right there, and their frequent guest,
Kayla J. Kayla J. We love Kayla J here.
We do. Melball, where can they find you?
If they're willing to follow a Melball, you can follow me on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can follow me on everything else, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find me, as Andre mentioned, at our local establishment on Japanese Wrestling Update every Fridays at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Unless it's not and then we'll let you know on social media. This Friday will be a pre-recorded episode again as we are attending the Top Talent Show, which is going to have a very interesting mix of guests. We have Sue Young taking on Kathleen Heese. It's going to be great. We have that guy you mentioned in the ladder match. We got Microman.
Microman's
The other guy.
Oh,
I know,
the
but
guy,
the
the
other
former
guy.
GCW World Champion Broski Jimmy Lloyd.
Lord,
So what? The like 10-minute champion there. Yeah,
it's better than some.
true.
I'm just gonna say that. Yeah, we're going to be seeing the Top Talent Show, so it will be a pre-recorded episode. So stay tuned to our socials to see when that's coming out for you. Next week's though should be live. It might not be though. We have to talk about that. Again, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Stick to the socials. You can also find me on Astro Bizarro's YouTube channel where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase, all about the ladies. We have an episode coming out this Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, I believe. I have to confirm that with Astrid. She will let you know.
4 p.m. our time.
I'm going based on what she tells me. So I have to remember that she is not Mountain Standard Time.
Weird. It looked like Well, okay.
Maybe you know better. Maybe you've seen something backstage here because I don't have access to this ish. Anyway, we have an episode coming out this week. We're talking about Mari Gold. We're talking about Julia. We're talking about Mercedes Monet. We're talking about some of the controversy surrounding Sky Blue, the comments made at a show that we personally were at and watched the incident happen. We didn't hear it, but we saw it. No bueno, no bueno. So come hear what we have to say about that. If you're wanting to watch New Japan Wrestling, we will leave a link in the description box below. It is njpwworld.com. It is 999 yen, or approximately 10 Canadian. Shout out Sean Spears, Miss Mornix Infinity, according to this girl, but it's still a great price to watch some professional wrestling. Oh, just dropped my phone. Andre, my trusted friend and colleague, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
I just want to say thank y'all for showing up here. We really do appreciate it. If you're listening to 94 months on event, please give us a 5-star review. We really appreciate that. And also check out the Patreon, patreon.com/SNME Also, if you're watching on YouTube, whether it's Andre Melball Talk, whether it's Backbreaker video, thank you so much. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, share us out to all your friends, families, and little gremlins that happen to hide in your socks. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello.
Make sure you don't put your socks on when the gremlins are in there. They will bite your toes off.
It's true.
Just a little FYI. Beware the gremlins in your socks. And that being said, I am your Melba. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.